What's up, jammies? Welcome back to another episode of Ricky's Ram Jam presented by Barefoot Wine. The wine is flowing. I have not heard from Barefoot yet about my fall spooky wine ideas that I pitched last week. Maybe it got lost in the mail, or maybe they're in the lab creating it right now, or maybe, silence is the best revenge. I don't know. We're waiting to hear from Barefoot. I am not holding my breath, but I'm also checking the mail every 2 minutes, if that's okay. The Rams fell to the Eagles 23-14 on Sunday, but it was awesome to have Cooper Kupp back in the lineup. I'm going to have Patrick Claybon from NFL Network joining me in a second. But this past game against the Eagles was really fun to watch. It was a packed house at SoFi. The game was fun. Ahkello Witherspoon had an insane red zone interception, and I was in the bowl of SoFi when that happened, and the crowd went absolutely insane during that toe tap. And a cool stat is that he's been a part of all 3 of the Rams' takeaways this season so far, 2 interceptions and a fumble recovery on a Fuller strip earlier this year. So that was awesome. So Ahkello Witherspoon balling out on the defense. Love to watch him. Also, Puka, another Puka stat. It's like, oh my gosh, it just keeps going. Puka was the first rookie since Torrey Holt in 1999 to catch a touchdown in back-to-back games. So let's just make it 3. Like, is that a stat? Because I want to find that out on Sunday against the Cardinals when they come to SoFi. Puka, let's just go for another one. Before Patrick joins me, I'm in a Rams coworkers flag football league, and last night we had a game at 9:30 p.m., which is criminal, and I'm very sore, but some of our routes that we were calling, we would name them after Rams teams. They're all Rams employees. Clearly, we're not football players. We tied 38-38. I did score a touchdown, so I just want that to be documented. So I'm putting that out here now. I got trucked by like a 6-foot guy and got the wind knocked out of me, but still got the touchdown. You can call me Ricky. You can call me Puka. Also answer to Cooper Kupp from now on. So yeah, the Rams were balling on the field and on the flag football field. So just want to make that known. All right, I'm going to fill up my barefoot cup and raise a toast to my guest joining me right now. He's the host of NFL Network's Fantasy Live, among other NFL Network shows. If you turn on NFL Network, you're guaranteed to see his pretty face, a frequent guest on the ATN podcast, an overall great dude, Patrick Claybon. Patrick, hi.
Erica, what's up? Good to see you digitally. I was glad to be able to see you a few weeks ago, or maybe months. I don't even know. All these things kind of add up, and then football season starts, and so. But it's just time. It's a figment of our imagination. It's just our perception, as we're hunks of sentient meat just floating on this rock in the universe. So, but yeah, it's still good to see you.
Exactly. So good to see you too. So you're the host of Fantasy Live. How many meetings have you guys had about Puka and Cooper Kupp on the same field?
We've had at least since the impending note of Kupp's return, and we were an exceedingly pro Puka show before, because so many people they think everything is training camp smoke, and it's like, oh, Puka Nacua, Tutu Atwell, you're not fooling us, and it's like, no, especially Rank and Florio, they were pounding the drum for Puka Nacua way before most fantasy drafts started, and then especially after Cooper's injury.
Right.
And then we looked, and you can contrast things, right, with how the Bengals handled Joe Burrow's injury versus the way that the Rams handled Cooper Kupp's. Cooper got right back on the field, and that's Cooper Kupp. There wasn't any adjustment periods like, oh yeah, Cooper Kupp's back, and he's one of the best receivers, top 3 receiver in the NFL. And that doesn't hurt Puka's production. It can only make things better. There's only going to be more scoring opportunities, like we saw that beautiful catch against the Eagles for that touchdown.
That kind of leads into this next part. Like, what has impressed you most from Puka's historic start?
It's really just the fact that it's, of course, like we saw the way that once Odell got healthy and down the stretch, like running that backside dig, it was almost uncoverable. As long as Stafford had enough time, he was able to go through his reads. And there's Odell. Puka is playing to that level as a rookie, right? He's generating separation. His first 4 games in the league, right? He finally gets that first touchdown. His first touchdown is a walk-off game winner. And then the dude is just as cool as can possibly be. Like you can see it in his face and the way that his teammates interact with him. He almost doesn't make it to get the game ball, right? Because he's just out there carrying pads. He's doing interviews. He's trying to get used to all this. And while all that's going on, he's playing like one of the best receivers in the league, and it's just so cool to watch him kind of adjust to that, and the way that his teammates have accepted and appreciated him. I love the story as a person. Besides the fact that he's just playing such good football right now, it's awesome to watch it, especially for fantasy managers, right? Where there's another player where it's like this is a guy that you start every single week, and that's just so valuable because we can always talk about him because there's nothing bad. There's nothing bad about Puka Nacua. You can just enjoy it and celebrate it, and I love it. It's a plus.
Yeah, it's sort of like that been with me with Kyron Williams too, like the running back out of, nowhere essentially to a lot of people, and to kind of step up and take over for this team. Like he has been a must start for me, and not just as a Rams fan, just as like a fantasy running back, which has been amazing.
Yeah, and there was of course one game, right, where he doesn't score. But then all these other games it's 2 touchdowns.
Right.
It's like you're getting league winner type performances from Kyron Williams when it was coming into the season as the Rams offensive line, there's these issues like this ongoing 17-year saga with Cam Akers, like who's it going to be? Well, like early on that was answered, and then the team went ahead and finally ended that discussion and made it super official where there's no question. Like you can start Kyron Williams without asking a whole bunch, without knowing, because he's not coming off the field. Right. And that's such a value where it's like, are we going to get the receptions? Are we going to get the carries? Like you're getting volume from Kyron Williams and you're getting production. And so it's like you want pieces of the Rams. It's like 2019 all over again.
Right.
Where, like we went through the injuries, we went through all of that last year, and it's like, oh, give me pieces of this Rams offense. Give me the core. Throw in some Tutu. It's perfect.
Absolutely. So let's look ahead to the Cardinals. The Cardinals come to SoFi on Sunday. There's a long history between these two teams. The Cardinals are 1-4, but had an impressive win against the Cowboys. What do the Rams have to do to come out with a victory on Sunday?
Well, I think the issue A1 is always going to be protecting Matt Stafford. That's clear. If they can be able to do that, and of course this Cardinals pass rush has seen a bit of an up and down performance as the season's gone on. I picked the Cardinals to beat the Bengals last week. I didn't know Joe Burrow was going to suddenly heal overnight and go to the Super Soldier program, and he goes from hobbling around to doing pop-up slides and dropping the balls. Like, okay, Joe, like glad to see you again. And so it's kind of like that's the thing with these early season games. It's so tough to evaluate defenses week in and week out. Of course, like star wise, there's not a particular Cardinals pass rusher that you're super worried about. They do a lot through scheme and really timing, but it's tough to do that against Matt Stafford, who's literally seen everything at this point in his career, and he's seen it twice. And now he's got his full complement of weapons, and we get to see what game 2 for Sean McVay with both Puka and Cooper Kupp back looks like. I really think you keep 9 upright. I don't see a reason for this Rams team to lose this football game.
Yeah, absolutely. And Josh Dobbs has filled in nicely for Kyler Murray this season so far. How do the Rams make things difficult for the Cardinals offense on Sunday?
Well, I think the number one priority with Josh Dobbs is to stay in your lanes. You have to try to generate a pass rush, which Aaron Donald is going to do regardless. You just can't get super greedy on the edge because Josh Dobbs can hit a corner and get 40 or 50 yards. He's done it a couple times this season, and it's really changed some games. And early on, like everybody's looking for that quarterback, right? Like who's going to have this Geno-style season where you're a relative journeyman, hasn't gotten a lot of opportunities to becoming a person that we're considering starting in fantasy every single week. And Josh Dobbs was almost there. He had the turnovers against the Bengals, but he's played well. And he's kind of led to a resurgence. We've seen a couple of solid games from Hollywood Brown that we haven't seen in a long time. And so there's, the division games, it can always get a bit itchy. Rams fans know that. As long as Stafford has time, I don't see this Cardinals team being able to score with the Rams offense.
Yeah, absolutely. And you tweeted Sunday verbatim, quote, Cooper Kupp is very back. I just think that like I want that to be the title of this episode. Because I just
Yeah,
think you had him just in, especially in that first half, against the Eagles. It's just like, oh my God, Cooper Kupp is very back. So I'm excited to see him a week after getting the timing right with Stafford. He talked about, post game, just like, oh, there's a few things that I wish I could have kind of grabbed onto. And I just can't wait to see the switch from even last game to this game, which will be so cool.
it's to see Cooper Kupp, right? The way he's explosive in and out of his breaks, the way that he blocks. There's so much of his game that's directly tied to his extraordinary capacity as an athlete, which in 2023 sometimes gets disregarded.
Right.
I have no idea why. Well, I do have an idea why, but it's ridiculous to me. And so, like, to see his physicality back immediately after this hamstring injury, I'm so glad that he's healthy because the precision, the power, like all of that comes from his core, from his lower body, just to see it back, it's so because I hate when we have these singular talents that we don't get to watch, and the Rams have three of them, right? They have three of them, and we're going to wait to see how the rest of these guys develop. But you have guys that you know are on a path to Canton, and I just like I was thinking I was trying to because people saw that tweet, Erica. I'm so glad that you saw it too. And they're sending me John Wick memes, but like that's him. Like
Yeah.
he's precise. He can be violent with his hands and with his feet, and you leave no doubt he's the Baba Yaga. Like
Yeah.
somebody's coming to terms with reality because
Yeah.
of the things he can do on the football field.
Yeah, I feel like Coop's a little bit more articulate than John Wick, but every other comparison is perfect. Claybon, before I let you go, I'm gonna ask you my three questions for the Ram Jam, and I've asked everyone the same three questions. If you were to have your last meal on Earth, what would it be?
Mm. Okay, so my very last meal on this planet that I love so much,
Yeah.
um, it is it is going to come with it's going to be a steak,
Okay.
um, probably a ribeye. It's going to be a
Mm,
ribeye cap.
okay.
Just give me the fillet, um, the entire ribeye cap, probably some French fries because whatever. Like let's be honest, like
Yeah.
that's who I am.
Right.
Um, and then maybe some sort of power elixir to save the planet. Maybe like a sensu bean or something, or like a space modulator, like whatever it takes to get some people safe. But yeah, steak and potatoes.
Yeah,
Let's keep it a steak.
that sounds great. If you could live in an amusement park or a shopping center or another fun place, where would you choose and why?
Oh, if I could live in a fun place, I I'm gonna lean towards because I feel like an amusement park would get a little freaky, especially around Halloween time.
Yeah.
Like you get the large animatronics and the mascots. That's gonna and maybe you have to deal with the clown. Clowns are one of the worst manifestations of human creation of all time. So I'm not doing that. Maybe like a get like a newer age elementary school and clear that thing out and turn it into a house.
Oh.
They got some funky designs. Could chill in the library. That's maybe something I would do. And hopefully the kids have another school. But I don't know. I don't know why they closed this one, but I'm going to live there now. But I do want the kids to be able to go to school.
Yeah, that feels kind of like post-apocalyptic. So like the last meal on Earth, like an
Yeah,
abandoned elementary school.
yeah.
Like that's we're going down this lane here. Lastly, what what would a collage of your life include?
A collage of my life would include some track and field workouts. It would include a whole lot of cameras and people behind them. And it would include social media website, twitter.com, which is where I met my wife, which is where I had a whole bunch of fun memories. And if you call it X, I will fight you. And then maybe, I don't know, the just the downfall of global capital. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. Like your Great Dane puppy, maybe that you just adopted. Maybe that would
Yeah,
make it.
my
Your two beautiful
Dottie,
kids.
yeah, Malcolm and Sage. But yeah, just the priorities.
Yeah.
Just work and Twitter. Other than that, I can't think of any. Well, I mean, the other stuff is obvious,
Yeah.
but really, it's just a whole bunch of people who have been really nice to me, Erica. I don't know why, but I'm just the luckiest person on the planet. So maybe that's it. Maybe it's me uh, finding a gold nugget under my pillow every single morning, which is just the fact that I get to wake up.
Yeah, no, that's great. Claybon, thank you so much for hanging out today. I appreciate it. It's so good to see your face, and I can't wait to, take your words to the grave that Puka and Cooper and Kyron are gonna go off this weekend. You heard it here first.
Yes, yes, it's coming here. You heard it here first. The Rams are going to win.
They are. Well, yeah, for sure. Claybon, thanks so much for hanging out. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you. Have a good one.
That does it for this week's Ricky's Ram Jam. Thanks for tuning in. We can't wait to see you at SoFi on Sunday. And if you can't make it, make sure that you are watching all of our Rams content in the app. You'll get push notifications about the score. Make sure you're following the Rams on Instagram and Twitter, as we've talked a lot of Twitter. Is it X? Who really knows? Not me. But all I know is that you need to be following the Rams and watching this Sunday against the Cardinals, because I've got a really great feeling it's going to be a great time. Let's ram it.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on our videos.